All right, so you've done a bit of research, you've fixed up your CV, you've started thinking about joining a recruitment agency, and maybe you've even investigated where the recruitment fairs are going to be. But where are you going to head? Which country appeals to you? Remember, it's not just the country, it's about the school, but you've probably started thinking about creating a list of destinations. So what I'm going to do here is go through just the countries that I've worked at to give you a bit of an insight, and this is going to supplement my top 5 country list. Here we go. Number 5. My journey started in the Philippines, and this was a classic case of me just getting my foot in the door. I had no idea what to expect in the Philippines. It wasn't a place I thought I was necessarily looking forward to living in. I had my heart set on Singapore, actually. And then a job came up in the Philippines. It wasn't even a well-known place for me like Manila or Cebu. So I found myself in Baguio City, which is actually up in the mountains. So it's a different type of lifestyle than most places in the Philippines. It was a school called Brent International School, well-known, historic, old school up in the mountains of Baguio City. A beautiful campus. Students lived on campus, in fact. There are a couple of great schools in the Philippines. In fact, ISM Manila is one of those top tier schools that everyone's sort of out to get a job in. It's big, it's busy, but it's very well resourced, and you get paid a heap, and you get some great bonuses as well. So that's one. Manila's a crazy city, but if you live in the right part of town, it actually can be a beautiful place to live. There are other top schools there as well, not just ISM, and you can also consider other places like Cebu. But if you want the decent packages and a high quality of life, I'd say you have to be thinking about Manila, and certainly ISM should be on your list if by chance you are able to get a job there. It would be amazing. Philippines is great for travel. It can be difficult getting around, but it's got over 7,000 islands. If you're into beaches and islands, especially if you're into diving, it's a great place for diving. And travel from the Philippines, getting out of the Philippines, it's actually not too bad because you can easily get to places like Taiwan and Hong Kong, and it's not really that far to get across to the rest of Southeast Asia and places like Thailand as well. So the Philippines, definitely worth considering, either to get your foot in the door like I did, or if you get into ISM and one of the other top schools in Manila, you may decide to stay. Number 2, and the second place that I went to, was Singapore. It wasn't a top tier school, but I was after the destination rather than the school, which isn't always the best advice, and it wasn't the ideal school, I suppose, for me. I maybe could have gone to a better school, but it was a great community school. I was paid enough to put some money away. I had a lot of travel. Travel from Singapore is amazing. It's really easy to live in Singapore. If you don't mind the hot all-around climate, then it's a great place to live. Great infrastructure, everything runs on time, it's safe. Perfect place to raise your family. If you can get your kids into an international school there as well, it's a great lifestyle for young people living in Singapore. So I highly recommend Singapore. And if you can get into one of the top tier schools, you'll get paid an absolute fortune. So yeah, high on your list should be Singapore. After Singapore, I got a little bit lucky. One of my former colleagues who I worked with in the Philippines had moved to China, and he'd been there for a few years, and he kept saying to me there'd be a job coming up for me, and he would sort of try to put in a good word for me. So I found myself heading off to Nanjing, China. It was an incredible international school. It's actually called Nanjing International School, probably the best place I've ever worked. The package was great. The savings potential was amazing back then. And the infrastructure was great as well. The challenges were more language and cultural challenges, and even today, sort of 10, 15 years later, those still exist, I suppose, but it was an amazing place to live. And I don't know why people are turned off to living in China, but I think it was an incredible experience, and you can really fast track your career there as well. Be careful, some of the international sounding schools aren't necessarily international. So you've got to do your research. If you can get yourself into a good international school in China, it can be a great experience. You can stack away the savings and live an incredible life. Next up for me was Hong Kong, and Hong Kong was the place that I've spent most time. And in fact, I've worked there now twice. It's where my 2 daughters graduated, and I worked at the same school at Hong Kong Academy in Sai Kung, which is a different kind of Hong Kong outside of the hustle and bustle of Hong Kong Island. I loved it. Hong Kong is where I consider home, and I expect one day to go back there again. I recently made a video comparing Hong Kong and Singapore. It's got over 70,000 views, which is crazy, because people get very passionate when they're comparing these two incredible places to live. The upside for Hong Kong, as I always say when comparing Hong Kong and Singapore, is that it has seasons, has a lot of variety in terms of landform. So it's got ruggedness, it's got great beaches and great hiking. Food is great. I actually loved it. A lot of stereotypes around Hong Kong these days, but I think it's a great place. It's right up there in the top few countries part of China, isn't it? Up there in the top few regions that you should be considering working in. Some top schools, even though they might not pay you quite as much as some of the top tier ones in Singapore, there are some great schools, some great packages. Some of them are a little bit less international because Hong Kongers are allowed to go to international schools, so sometimes they take up a lot of the spots in international schools, but don't let that turn you off. There are some very highly motivated students that are great to teach as well. So yeah, Hong Kong, check it out. And my current destination is where I am right now. I'm on holidays here in Thailand. We decided we would spend most of our summer holiday this year traveling around some of the islands. We're not at the islands yet, we're just in Hua Hin, so we've just started our journey from Bangkok. Came down yesterday. Thailand is amazing for quality of life. You might not make quite as much as you will in some of those other countries, but the cost of living is still low. You can stack away some savings if you're on a good package at a good international school, and travel opportunities around the region are incredible, but just within Thailand, it just works. It's a great place that is underestimated in terms of infrastructure. It's actually developing along nicely. Bangkok is incredibly modern. It's got great transport systems. It's really easy to get around. Everything just seems to work here. When I compare this to the Philippines, it's just miles ahead in terms of livability, I suppose, and just things working. Now, there are obviously some challenges, I suppose, that people will talk to you about. And some people say it's getting a bit big and crazy and the air quality might be an issue as well. There are too many tourists, all those kinds of things. But I'm loving it, so you should think about it as well. All right, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this list. Where are you going to go next?